Hello, beautiful people. We are going to review the practice quiz for Module 6. Now, I will say this is a longer quiz, so this is a longer practice. So try to write down all of your questions off to the side. If something doesn't make sense, please ask all the questions. And just like before, I'm a human being, so if I make a mistake, that's okay. We can learn from mistakes and you can figure out what went wrong. So let's go ahead and get started with number 1. As a disclaimer, as we saw with the first video, there may be bells going off. So be careful listening if you're listening to headphones. Be careful with the volume. Don't turn it up too high or else you might hear a bell going off. We are doing this at school. Let's get started with number 1. Number 1 is saying find the slope of each line. If they give you a graph, the easiest way to find something is to do rise over run. You can choose to do the other method, which is using the formula and solving. If they give you a graph, I don't recommend that method because it just takes a little bit more time. Now you can choose to do it. I'm going to choose to do just rise over run, which that means we either have up or down, left or right. Now remember, up is positive, down is negative, left is negative, right is positive. I'm going to choose a point. I'm going to choose this point. You can choose either points, one or the other. Now I'm going up 1, so my slope is up 1. 1, I'm going up, meaning it is positive. And I'm going to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4 jumps. 4 jumps to the right, and the right is positive. Therefore, my slope is 1/4. On number 2, it's asking us to find the slope. Once again, this time it is not graphed, so we have to use the slope formula. Remember, slope formula, you must use parentheses or else you're going to make silly mistakes. y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. So we have, make sure you're labeling x1, y1, x2, y2. What I recommend is writing down the formula, kind of, but leaving the parentheses empty inside, so that way you can just reference the formula and start plugging in your numbers. So, okay, y2 is 17, y1 is negative 17, x2 is, I caught my own mistake. So y1 is not negative 17, it is negative 18. Caught my own mistake there. So y2 is 17, y1 is negative 18. Now we have x2, 17. x1 is negative 17. Now, just like we saw in the Module 5 practice, if we have two negatives and we can circle them, that means we have a positive. So if we have two negatives, we can circle them without crossing out a number. That means it is a positive. It's kind of a simpler way to see that. 17 plus 18 we have is 35. 17 plus 17, I think my 1 here is missing. 17 is 34. Now we can try to see if we can simplify this. Anything that goes into 34 and 35, and see if that simplifies. If there's nothing, then leave it. Don't do anything with this. This is your slope, little m. Shift this up a little bit. All right. Number 3, write the standard form of the equation of each line. So standard form is ax plus by equals c. Now there are rules for this standard equation. Your rules are a cannot be negative, And your A, B, and C values, your coefficients here and this constant cannot be fractions. Now there's different ways of doing it. I'm actually going to show you a way to show you how this works. We're going to do this a different way. Okay. So one of the ways is to write your equation y equals mx plus b. Then once you have it in this form, you can just move things around, shift things around, move things around to make it look like this. So let's do that first. What we need here is the slope, and what we need is the y-intercept. The slope here is, again, this is given to us, the graph is given, so all we have to do is count. You're going to find two pretty points. I call them pretty points. One of these pretty points is right here. The other pretty point, let's see if we can find this pretty point, is right all the way down here. Two pretty points. Again, pick a point and count. I'm going to go choose this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 jumps up, so it's positive. Now I'm going to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 jumps to the left, which is negative. We're going to we're going to identify the y-intercept. The y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. And in this case, it crosses the y-axis at 0 and 4, 5. So then our formula in slope-intercept form, not in standard form, in slope-intercept form, looks like y equals negative 6/5 x plus 5. This is in slope-intercept. Now, that's not what the question is asking us. The question is asking us for standard form. So it has to look like this. So we're going to shift things around. Our objective, objective is to get x and y on the same side. We want it on the same side. So if I have a y here and I need an x, so I'm going to rewrite my formula, my equation, not formula. I'm going to add 6/5 x to both sides. Now don't worry about it being a fraction. We'll take care of that later. If I have 6/5 and I take away 6/5 x, these cancel out. I'm left over with 5. Here's my equals. And then these are different terms. They are unlike terms. I have a y and an x. So I just have 6/5 x plus y. Now, although x and y are on the same side, let me check this up. They are on the same side. We have to double check these two things. These are our requirements. Is a negative? Is the coefficient of x negative? No. So that one's okay. What about a, b, and c cannot be fractions? So do we have any fractions? Yeah, we have a fraction right over here. So we need to get rid of that fraction. The easiest way to get rid of that fraction is to look at the denominator. So I'm going to rewrite it. 6/5 x plus y equals 5. You're looking at your denominator here in your fraction. This is what we need to get rid of. This number, this 5, is being divided. You're dividing 6 by 5. So the opposite of dividing by 5 is to multiply by 5. And I'm actually going to multiply by 5. Every single term gets multiplied by 5. So the first term is kind of easy because if you're dividing by 5 and you're multiplying by 5, they kind of just cancel out. So all you're left with is just 6x. Don't forget that you have to multiply every term. So 5 times y is 5y. And 5 times 5 is 25. Now we double, triple check, make sure it has our requirements. Do we have any fractions? No. Is your coefficient a negative? No. So when you can answer no to both questions, then you are set with your standard form. So this is the standard equation. Now there is another way to do this. If you'd like, you can come in during lunch and we can talk about it. I am out of room, so this is the way that I'm going to show you here. If you'd like to see another way, definitely ask, okay? If you ask me, I can show you a different way to do this. There's many ways to solve this, many different ways to solve this.